terms of looking at their means for savings, the primary reason that women save for is for rainy days. They're not typically brought up to save towards investments or save towards building their business. They're typically, encouraged and advised to have that stash of money somewhere that can come to their rescue in case of emergencies. Even in family situations, you find that the funds saved by the women is the funds that the family relies on for rainy days, for having to go to the hospital, for unplanned expenses. Well, it's quite different for men. From the start, when they're saving, it's towards a big investment, to start a business, to channel towards their business. So I would say what women are most afraid of is that illiquidity, right? They're brought up to think that they must have a stash of cash that they can easily access in case of, any emergencies exactly, or any unplanned incidents.
Thank you so much for that. Tolu, this question is for you. What are some of the beliefs you had growing up about finances, and how have they changed?
Okay, so there were a few beliefs. I wouldn't say they have changed, I'll say they have evolved. Okay, so the first one is, in marriage, his money, my money, my money, my money. Yeah, have you guys ever heard that before? Yes. So I think in the West, it has been kind of different, because I grew up in the States, and there, everybody is your money is your money. If you're going for a date, you bring your cash, I bring my cash. But in Nigeria, if a man is asking you out, he better be paying for it, right? And when you get married, you kind of want to believe that your husband will then take care of all the bills, which in some cases, yes. But I think the economy has evolved. And women today are working, they're making money. And I would think that women should be more flexible in their thinking. If you're bringing as much money as he is, why not also help? At the end of the day, it's a partnership. You guys are working together. So that was one thing that I think kind of shifted in my mind, that, you know what? Yeah, if I'm bringing something to the table, I should support, right? That was one thing. The other thing is joint accounts. Because when I saw this question, I was like, So it wasn't like a thing I grew up believing. I think it was just something, Nigerians, we have all these ideas in our minds about money and relationships and stuff like that. But one thing I knew was, if I was ever going to have a joint account, it would be towards a project, towards something we're planning to do together, meaning that we already have that thing set out, we know how much it's going to cost, and we both are going to pitch in to do that. But I think there is an understanding where, we get married, we have a joint account, my salary I put inside. No. As a woman, I think you're bringing your whole person, you're working, you're bringing money to the table. You also have to understand the goals within your family. And even if, he's not driving, drive that conversation. What are we saving towards? Is it towards the school fees of our children? Or is it towards food? Or is it towards a new property? I think these conversations should be had. So these are things that I'd say growing up, I kind of, there were belief systems around, and I've kind of like questioned them and kind of come around my own understanding of it.
Thank you so much. And your response is very apt, because one of the aim of this session is to educate us on wealth building for women and by women. And I know there's this radical call for the soft life, the baby girl life, but you're saying, which is true, like if you have your finances, you should help or support your husband in the journey of building your home. So yeah, thank you very much for that. So Ife, this question is for you. You run an organization, you're building the first bank for women in Africa. What are some of the critical patterns you've seen that hinder women's financial inclusion?
Thank you very much for that question. The first thing I think hinders women, firstly, is education, which is obviously financial literacy. And this goes to even people who are also banked. So for example, I used to work in a multinational, I was earning well and all of that, but still, I was living from paycheck to paycheck. Why? Lack of financial education, lack of financial literacy. I wasn't thinking about savings. I wasn't necessarily thinking of how to grow my money, grow my wealth, investments, insurance. I wasn't thinking about all of that, because why? I didn't know. I just didn't know. And there are a lot of people who are like me, who are even earning. So now it's not even that you're not earning. You're actually earning, but you're not actually growing your income. So one of the things that makes women, not be financially not evolve financially is because they don't have the education that they're supposed to have. But as you grow, as you start to like join communities and all of that, you begin to improve your education, and then things get better. Now let's go to the people who actually don't have income. There's no way they're going to do anything. There's no way they're going to grow anything. So that's another problem. Some people actually don't work. A lot of people give up their careers as they get older for different reasons. Some people say, oh, I want to take care of my kids. Some people had trauma when they were growing up and they're like, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Some people just don't have any job. Unemployment rate in Nigeria is on a high. Some people are living, and they only have like the minimum wage, so they can't, do anything with their money. They believe that they should just keep it to themselves or keep it by themselves. And that takes me to the next point, which is lack of trust in financial institutions. A lot of people don't believe financial institutions. They believe that they just take from them. If they want to do a transfer, they're debiting one small amount here and there, or they feel like the financial institution might just close down one day, so they rather see the money under their pillow. At the end of the day, how much do they have? They have 30,000 naira. Let them just be keeping it by themselves, and So I think those are the top 3 reasons that hinder women from financial inclusion. But some of the things that complement those top 3 issues. Number 1, sometimes the women where they are, they're in rural areas that don't actually have access to financial services, so they just try to rely on some of the people, maybe local agents, local agile women, and who sometimes don't do what they say they're going to do. So obviously that makes them also lose trust. So that's another thing that makes women not, or just become financially excluded. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you guys feeling the heat? Like the wealth of knowledge and gems these ladies are dropping. Thank you so much, Ife, for that. Tolu, the next question is for you. Let's talk about innovation. The theme for Africa Next is cooperate, collaborate, innovate, unlocking our potential, ensuring Africa's prosperity. And we at Economy believe that the purpose of creating this platform is because there's a world of new ideas waiting to be acted on. In your world of personal finance, what kind of innovation is needed to really change the playing field and make it easier for all women?
I was looking at that question and I had to really think about it. And one thing that came to my mind, or one thing that stood out to me in the question, was the word collaboration. And sometimes as women, we always feel like to collaborate with somebody, we have to like the person. I think we always, honestly, I must like you first before I collaborate with you. But I want to challenge our thinking. I must respect you first. I must believe that you have something that I want. Because if we don't understand that the power of collaboration, we will stay on our little islands feeling like we have the biggest houses, and we don't have the biggest houses. So in terms of, even understanding how to make your money stretch or to invest, look up to people that you respect. Women, what are they doing? You don't have to necessarily like them, but respect their hustle. In whatever fields they are in, how are they doing what they're doing? Ask conversations, find out more, because there is so much power. And then for those people who are making it, you know how as women, when you find a good tailor, you don't want to share the secret. You want to be that's how we are. Or we find somebody that can do hair very well. I don't want to tell everybody, I keep it to myself. If you know something, if it's worked for you, share. I mean, there's love in sharing. The reason, you might have found out by mistake, but share. If you know how to do things better, you've walked that road, you've seen it work before, or you have an idea of how things can be better, put it out there and share, because the more you share, the better. I think life is about impact. It's about how many lives you can actually impact, how many lives you can make easier. So if you've done it well before, you've been there, you've maybe missed it or you've gotten it, tell people, don't go down that road. I think I won't say in Nigeria, in the world, rather say, hey, Mr. I've gone there, you to go. Let them pass through the hardship. No, you've been there, Yeah, you don't have to. Share your knowledge. And for us who are looking for knowledge, reach out. Don't wait, you don't have to like people to learn from them. If you respect them and you see something they have, go and get it, because it expands your own knowledge. That's how I see it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Collaboration over competition. And of course, any benefit you are getting and another woman will benefit from it, it will be nice for you to share. So for people that are just joining this session, let me just do a quick recap. The topic is the woman and her money, and the aim is to educate us on wealth building for women and by women. So yeah, I will share a secret. I've been enjoying in my interest on the economy account. So let me share with all women. So please go and download, enjoy your interest, get discount from amazing partners on the economy platform. Thank you so much.
Does anybody here have the app? Is anybody here saving on the app? Hi. Who? Raise up your hand, right? Who's shy? Raise up your
Don't worry,
hand.
it's a small
Are you
community.
saving?
Okay, so now today is a good time to, not even today, now is a good time to download the app. It's available on the Play Store and Google, iOS, the Apple Store and Play Store. Thank you so much, ladies. Do you have any questions? Should we take the questions or should we wait till the end? What's the question? We can take one question now. Does anyone have any question? The economy. Just economy on the Google. Thank you so much. So if you've kind of dovetailed into the next question, but I'll still ask you. Gender inequality has prevented many women from having financial independence or founding their own business. Women still earn less, have limited access to bank loans and credit. What are some of the contributions economy is doing to bridge this gap?
So we even first like to even talk about how we even evolved and why we even decided to pivot to a financial technology company. So we started out as a community, basically just educating women on how they can grow in their careers, in their personal lives. And after speaking and training over 85,000 women, we found out that financial services was at the top of the list of some of the issues that they were facing. So some of these issues were things like access to credit and all the other things that a financial institution will give you. So we said, you know what, how can we help some of these women? A lot of them were also complaining that they couldn't save. And I also realized that I had that problem where, like I said before, I was earning from paycheck to paycheck and I couldn't save. So we said, you know what, let's see what we can do now, pivot to financial services and see how we can, on top of all the offerings that we were doing before, now offer things like education, a savings platform, financial credit, but through different partners. So one of the ways that, or some of the things or the ways that her economy supports women, firstly, is by helping them not only save money, but also grow their income. So everyone who saves on her economy either earns 8 to 10% interest on their savings. Imagine you leaving your money in your regular bank account. And the truth is, that's what differentiates person A from person B. And I'll give a simple example. Somebody who has maybe grown their income to maybe save maybe 6 million and they keep it in her economy account. The interest you earn from that every month can actually pay your driver's salary. But if you're saying, oh, let me just keep it in my bank account, or I'm looking at it and all of that, that money is not doing anything for you, and you are still going to take out of that money to pay your driver's salary if you have a driver. Let's say you don't have a driver, let's say it's a nanny, let's say whatever else, let's say you want to do your hair. That income doesn't have to come from the income that you make or your salary that you earn every month. You can do things and have different investments that can help you sustain the lifestyle that you want. And it starts from, the little things. Today, it's paying for your driver's salary. Next year, it's paying for a holiday for your children. And that's how it works, right? Another way that her economy helps women is through education. So every week, we have capacity building workshops across different topics. So this month, for example, we can pick finance. Next month, it might be women's health. And trust me, there are different things that you think you know that you don't know. I was with a member or somebody who saves with her economy, and we were just talking. She was pregnant, and she was like, oh my gosh, she's spending so much money on antenatal and all those things. And I was just looking at her like, I don't understand. Why are you spending money on antenatal? And this is somebody that on a normal day has money. So and that she has to pay for her hospital bill. I said, why don't you have HMO? And she was looking at me and confused. Most people or most women that have HMO is their companies that register for HMO for them. But because she's an entrepreneur, she didn't think that she needed it. And I was like, for as low as 50,000 naira, you can actually have free healthcare for the whole year. And it would include your antenatal. But if you don't know, you just don't know. And so basically, you growing your money doesn't only end with you even just saving. It's things like insurance, how you saving, how you paying this upfront fee so that you can save money in the long run. Insurance even for your car. So it's just educating people, even though today we don't offer insurance, but we have partners who offer insurance within the economy ecosystem. So once you start listening to these things, you start to see different ways where you can save money. Another way people save money with economy is through the discount partners that we have. For example, your wellness is very important. You want to visit a spa, you have one knuckle here, and everything. You go, normally maybe you'd pay 20,000 naira, but with economy you get a discount, you're saving that money. Those 2K here, 5K here. I know people who have saved millions in hotel fees, let's say for their company retreat, just because they were saving with economy. And if you are not looking at it in that way to say, oh, my company has the money to pay, in the long run, when you see how much you've saved in the whole year, it compounds. So that's why all those little things you miss. I met a lady who was telling me she earns 345,000 naira every month, and she decided to start saving with us, and it just literally pushed her to even want to save more. Out of the 345K, she actually saves 200,000 naira every month, and I was like, how do you do it? It's one thing for somebody who earns 1 million to save 200K, but it's another thing for someone who earns 345K to save 200K. She said, you know what she did? She moved closer to her office, so she walks to work. So that 1K that normally another person would have been paying for, maybe Uber, I'm lazy, I beg, Uber here and there, that would have taken 60K on a normal day. But she said, you know what, I'm going to start working. I'm not saying anybody to go and work to work. Oh, this is her own sacrifice. And that was how she was able to save 1 million naira for the first time in her life within, I think, 6 months. On a normal day, she probably wouldn't have been able to do that. And what has happened is she's also still generating interest on that saving, right? Another way that we also empower women is through access to the community. A lot of people have gotten businesses just by coming to networking events, meeting somebody who maybe they can offer a service to them, or who they can even patronize for something that they need. So community, and we know that women cannot be empowered through bank accounts alone. They also need access to community. They need to see other women who are like them to tell them what to do. So a lot of women have, I'm talking too much, sorry. But a lot of women feel like mom guilt when they're not the ones taking their children to school, picking them up from school, helping them with their assignments and all that. But if you see Ara, for example, and you are seeing how she's managing her household, you will not feel any guilt. When she tells you that, I beg you, I have a lesson teacher, I cannot come and kill myself, and I have a driver, you're spending money on those things, but you are taking your time back, and you need to realize that your time is also valuable, and all these things can also lead to ill health if you feel like you want to be the one doing everything at the same time. But if you have people around you who are in similar situations as you, and you're seeing how they can, or how they have been able to manage some of those situations, it's better for you, and all of those guilt and everything begins to drop. So yeah, that ecosystem, her economy is trying to help women be better, grow their wealth, and grow their network.
Thank you so much, Ife, for that. Please give Ife a round of applause, guys. Thank you so much,
So
ladies.
download our app today.
Okay, so Tolu, this is a very interesting question, and it's funneling out from what Ife said. You have a very thriving community online. So I want you to also share your experience in how women thrive in communities.
I think it's a human thing, when people feel like they can trust you and you're being open and honest with them, they become open and honest with you. In today's world, it's very difficult to find people who tell you the truth. And I think that's one thing that has helped our community, because we all go through situations, we're not suffering and smiling. But everybody here is going through one thing or the other. And when you feel like, okay, I can be open and honest with you and I will not get judged, but I will get truth from you telling, okay, I don't know what to do, but let's do this. Or, I know somebody who can help. You get more people talking to you, because you don't have that today. So I won't say it's a woman thing. I think it's a human thing. And as much as possible, everybody should try to be as open and vulnerable, not to everybody, but there are people who need that, especially this social media world. people are always in their houses now. Nobody's seeing face to face anymore. On your birthday, you have 5 million comments, happy birthday. Nobody will pick up the phone and call you. I mean, now if somebody sings happy birthday to me, I take it very, very precious. Because nobody has time to be singing happy birthday to you. They don't see emoji, heart, 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 balloon, woo, happy birthday. Nah, it's more than that. So people want to feel your humanity. So I think, in building a community, be it women or anybody else, it's just being open, being human, and help as much as you can. That's what I think.
Thank you so much, Tolu, for that. Ara, this question is for you. What are some of the ongoing intervention Women World Banking is doing to address the issues surrounding women?
All right, thank you. So, like I mentioned earlier, Women's World Banking is focused on extending financial inclusion. Our target segment is low-income women because we realize that they experience more. So typically, women experience barriers in accessing finance generally, right? But low-income women experience even more barriers by virtue of their social strata, by virtue of their distance from access points to finance. And what we try to do is we work with multiple stakeholders to reach women with financial services. And these stakeholders cut across. We have funders that fund our organization to go on projects that extend like the services that Ife mentioned, savings, credit, digital financial literacy to women. We work with policymakers as well to ensure that policies that are being put out there have a gender lens to them, right? So when you put a policy out there to make financial inclusion easier for everyone, you need to understand that there's some specific nuances that women experience, and you need to apply a gender lens to everything you're doing. We also work with financial service providers. They're the ones making these products, right? Like you might have heard before, it's not about printing out a pink account opening form and thinking that that makes it relevant for women. Exactly. It's about putting specific solution elements into your product to ensure that women are able to access it as well as men, right? So for example, if you look at a typical low-income woman, maybe in the north, right, she doesn't have as much flexibility to leave her home and go to a bank branch. She might not want to go to a bank branch because she doesn't want to have to, jostle with men in getting into the banking hall or have to speak with people that are not her direct relatives by virtue of her beliefs and principles, right? So how does a bank make sure that the services that they're putting out there is recognizes that specific nuance, right? Can the service be channeled through maybe like a woman agent that can reach multiple women in that kind of situation that they are comfortable going to meet to ask about the financial products and to get financial services from? So really, that's what Women's World Banking is focused on. All ranges of financial services, savings, credit. We work with stakeholders to make sure that there's a gender lens to it as well. We work with policymakers to make sure that they're thinking of women and low-income women when they're putting policies out there. We help corporations that have the funds to channel part of the funds they're making to ensure that the way that they're working and the income they're making is sustainable and is targeting some less, would I say less privileged? I don't know if that's still politically correct, but less, pardon me, less able, less able members of the society. So that's what Women's World Banking does.
Thank you so much for that explanation on what women, or how Women's World Banking is advancing financial inclusion for women. Tolu, this question is for you. I would like you to share some of the things that have influenced your savings culture, be it things or human beings.
Well, first of all, my parents, because growing up, when I asked for stuff, they would ask me, do you want it or do you need it? And then I have to sit down and think. So as an adult today, when I want to buy something, I ask myself, Tolu, do you want it or do you need it? Another set of people that have influenced my saving culture are my children. So I've got 3 children. And growing up, you have dreams, you have things and goals, things you want to do, things you want to achieve. And when kids come into the picture, it's a whole different ballgame. They become number one. And so my parents did their best and gave me the best. And I want to give my kids the best. And so anytime I earn or I have money, it's first of all Maslow's hierarchy of need: food, housing, clothes, medical. These are important things. You know, I had to ask myself, I think 2 years ago, I wanted to buy a car. And I asked myself, do you want it? Or do you need it? Would you rather take that money and buy a house? And these are questions that, it's not even as a woman, but even as an adult, you would have money from time to time where you can, you know, buy assets or buy liabilities. And in this world, the way the financial trends, you need to be very, very careful how you spend to ensure that whatever you spend on in some kind of way is going to come back to you. So, yeah, my kids also very much influence that. And then there's Tolu on the list. And I'll explain. I realized, you know, when I get my salary, I would pay my staff. And I was like, Tolu, you don't pay yourself. So I pay my staff salary. I buy the stuff for them. I do everything else. I don't pay me. And I was like, no, going forward, as I'm paying, even if it's 50K, even if it's 100K, I will pay me. Because if you don't start setting aside some money for yourself, you will then realize that you're spending. Look at our currency. I mean, it's amazing. Things are getting easier. But then, as Ara said, that emergency fund is something that we women, we just have to have. And there are 3 times a year I spoil me, because I have to spoil me, because I realize as well, sometimes you get too rigid, where you save all the money. No, I'm not going to. No, you have to, small spoiling. Yeah, my birthday and Christmas, I buy myself things. I tell you, you know, you deserve this, tell you. But also within a budget. I will not spend except I have savings to match it. Does that make sense? If I can't buy it twice, I think Jay-Z said it. If you cannot buy it twice or 3 times, then don't buy it at all. It's not your time to...
Rule around that, the 50, 30, 20.
Rule.
So 50 to your needs, 30
20.
to your wants, 20 to your savings.
Thank you. But me, it's just mental... So if I cannot buy it 2 or 3 times, I can't afford it. Even if you can afford it, looking at what's in your account, if you cannot buy it 2 or 3 times, it's not your time to buy it. And these are just like things that I've just used to basically, you know, work on my finances, grow, and then take care of the things that are quite important to me. My kids and, you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's very important. Putting yourself first, paying yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And of course, you deserve to be spoiled. So yeah, thank you so much. Ife, this question is for you. One of our economy's goal is to make sure that women are more financial savvy. What advice do you have for female entrepreneurs with non-finance background?
They should just do it. I don't think I have a finance background. In fact, I don't. It's not I don't think. I don't. But I'm in this space, and I'm just going to seek counsel whenever I need counsel. You need to surround yourself with people that can help you grow. You need to know that you don't know everything. Even the things you know, you need to question and just, you know, ask people, get mentors, get people who have gone ahead of you and have done, you know, similar things, and then, you know, things will get better. Don't be scared to make mistakes. You make blunders, not just mistakes. You know, you make blunders, but you'll be fine. Exactly, you fail forward. So yeah, just keep doing it. Do it afraid. You don't need to have a finance background, but continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to have people around you that can put you in check whenever you try to misbehave. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And this dovetails into the next question. So what are some of the money, I won't call them mistakes, money lessons that female entrepreneurs have made, or you have made, or you've seen based on the businesses you've supported in her economy?
Lessons or businesses that we've supported. Okay.
Or even personally. So it typically should be money mistakes that either you've made or you've seen businesses through the Enterprise Challenge grants that you support or her economy supports. So I rather call them lessons, because like Tolu has said, we fail forward and we just do it afraid. So yeah.
First lesson, taking money that you don't need. There was a time in my life where there was an opportunity for a loan, which was very, very low interest, but we didn't need it at the time. But I thought that we're going to get more opportunities by being part of that ecosystem if we took the loan. So we decided to take the barest minimum, of that loan, but eventually bit us in the back. So even though the amount was very minimal, it's just better. It would have been better if we didn't take the money, because different things happened in that business. So the business, we decided not to go ahead, not to continue doing that business anymore. But you have a responsibility because you've already taken the loan, right? So it just made the relationship between my partner and I at the time just, go to pieces. We didn't manage issues properly. There was literally no point, taking the money. So if you don't need the money, not because it comes with other juicy things, there's no point taking it. So that's, money lesson number one. Number two is give. So even no matter, so when I started, let's say AGS Tribe, I didn't have anything, but I was still willing to give out grants to other people or other female-led businesses because I felt like those were the people who were segregated and sidelined. But the more I gave, the more I received. So yeah, continue to give, and yeah. So those are my 2 cents. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Ara has something to say.
Yes, I have one, and it's kind of related to the first point that Ife made. So she said, don't take money that you don't need, right? For me, when you need that money, take it to channel into your business. There's something that comes with, like you mentioned, accountability. There's accountability that comes with channeling money that was loaned to you into your business. You just automatically sit up, right? And it's related to my second point, which is don't mix your business and personal funds together, right? When you have when you know that the money you're channeling into this business, there needs to be repayment. You need to report to a partner or to a funder about how you're spending the money. You're automatically sitting up and you're only spending it on what is going to enable you to get repayment to pay back your loan, right? You are not mixing it with your personal finances. You start to build a financial history, you start to build a record where you can actually go to other institutions and be able to present a record and get more credit, right? So credit is not always bad. And in relation to the question that you asked, Tolu, that was something that I kind of grew up thinking that, hey, loan, I don't want. Do you understand? But I've changed my mindset about, when you need it, take it, right? Also, the first thing people will talk about is the interest rates are high. And the interest rates are ridiculously high on loans, right? So organizations like Women's World Banking, what we do is try to ensure, and her economy as well, is try to ensure that the credit is gotten at a reasonable interest rate, right? And when you're seeking funds, when you're seeking funding from outside, don't only think of that money that you're going to get to channel into your business. When you get funds, it comes with the expertise of the person that is loaning it to you. They're also like your watchdog, right? Because they know they have money in your business. So if they're hearing anything outside that's going to threaten your business, yes, they're calling you immediately and saying, are you still selling this product? I heard this. So you have someone that is also helping you to watch your business and make sure that you're making the right decisions. You have people that have been in the business. You have people that will help you to publicize, right? So don't just take money from people and demand don't just demand that funding from people, right? Demand their support in your business and let them know that as you're giving me money, you're going to need to support me in terms of being an advocate for me. We are in this business together, right? When you don't need it, don't take it. But when you do take it, or when you do need it, take it and use it well. That's the only way you can grow your business. And be accountable, exactly.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I think one key thing about this session is we're trying to make these lessons very relatable. So even the examples that you're giving, I'm sure a lot of us can relate. You're looking at me. Can you relate to what she's saying? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to what Ara has said. Thank you so much for that. Now, riding off that, what are some of the best money advice you will give to both a professional and an entrepreneur? Yes.
Okay. It's very broad, right? And it's something that Ife said. It's something that I always think about. Seek knowledge, right? Inform yourself. I'm not an investment manager. I'm not going to claim to know it all. If I have a huge investment that I want to, if I have a huge chunk of money that I want to put into an investment, I'm going to seek an expert, right?
Sorry, do you think women don't seek knowledge? Or knowledge is not accessible to women?
Women do seek knowledge. And my point about seeking knowledge, right? I was going to merge those two things I've said: seeking knowledge and getting someone that has the expertise. Because when you hand over or when you ask for the support of someone that has the expertise, you need to be informed as well. Don't hand over your money to someone, an investment manager, and go to sleep. Don't put your money in fixed deposits in a bank and go to sleep. Try to read up. Don't put your money in treasury bills and go to sleep. Try to be informed, right? Yes, the investment manager or the bank will advise you on what the next steps to take are, but you need to seek knowledge in order to be able to understand what kind of advice they're giving you and what suits you. Because you understand your situation, right? You know what you're putting the investment in for. You know what you'd rather not invest in. So as you're getting the expertise, make sure that you also have the knowledge to make sure to ensure that the expertise works for you. Did I answer your question?
Oh, yes, you did. Thank you so much. Thank you. Tolu, this question is for you. Can you talk about some of the differences you've observed in how men and women manage their finances?
Well, I'm not a man. So,
You said observed.
and I think Ara has answered the question. I think Ife as well has answered the question. The way women see money is quite different from the way men see money. And I think women are very motivated by the people that we love. You know, I always believe that if you empower a woman, you empower a nation. You empower, you know, everything. Because women are about their people, their family, their children. Most women want to see them do better. So I can only really speak from a woman's perspective. I think men are providers. I think they go out, they look for the meat, and they bring it home. Women, they look everywhere, and they use everything to empower the ones that they love, because they want them to be better and do better. And that's why sometimes in giving loans, people like to give women loans, because you know that before a woman defaults, that's something that she almost would never do. She would go out of her way to ensure that she pays that money back, because she's motivated by something stronger. It's not just about the money. She wants her business to thrive because of where the money's going to go to. She wants she wants to do well at work because of where the money's going to go to. So women are quite motivated by, who they love and what they want to see, blossom and achieve. So I would say, I think that's a difference.
Thank you so much for that. Ara, this question is for you. What are some of the trends in line with policy that Women World Banking is driving that you've noticed in the past? I know we had this discussion on the side that you've noticed in the past 1 week and that might actually spill over for the first quarter.
If I start to talk. So let me just, a case in point. We recently deployed a savings mobilization solution for low-income women into the market. Actually, we deployed 3 with 3 different financial institutions at the same time. And the intent of the mobilization solution is to encourage low-income women to save in little amounts but consistently over a period of time. Because it's not about saving today and then not doing a savings for the next 2 weeks and coming and saving. It's about developing a behavior where you start to save consistently and then your lifestyle adjusts to what is left, right? So save first before you spend. So we have the solution out there for low-income women. They can save for 3 different banks. They can save between 50 to 500 naira on a weekly basis, on a daily basis if they can afford it. They need to stay on a certain track for a period of time, make sure that they're saving consistently, and then of course they get an incentive at the end of the day because you need to incentivize them to save. Now, we're talking about the past 1 week. The past, I don't want to get emotional, but the past 1 week is going to have a high impact on financial inclusion, especially for people that are just beginning to get over that mistrust of financial institutions. It's been very it's been very touching going to banks and seeing people not being able to access their money. Now, what you would say is that, but they can transfer via their phones, right? They can transfer via, the apps, right? But we do not have the sufficient rails to carry that load, right? We have not fully, people are not fully digitally, financially literate to be able to use those apps. Some are still learning. At Women's World Banking, our work is still on trying to make sure that there's that digital financial literacy. So it's going to have a huge effect because people are going to be scared of putting their money in the banks. And there's this thing that they say about, oh, are you going to keep your money under your pillow, right? If it's a typical person of our social strata, you say, how can I keep 1 million naira under my pillow? But these people are people that maybe what they've saved aside is 20,000. They can easily keep it under their pillow when they think of the stress that they had to go through to withdraw that money. Do you understand? They will easily keep it, right? And then you start telling them, oh, you need to keep it in the bank because you're going to have access to this and that. They'll be like, I'd rather have my money. Do you understand? So for a typical entrepreneur, she'll just keep buying and selling and buying and selling. She won't start to think of, oh, let me build an account history so that I can get credit for the bank. She'll just be like, look, the one that I have, that I can reach, is enough for me. So, I mean, the effect is myriad. I'm sure the regulators are thinking about this and are thinking of how to lessen the negative effect. People like us sitting on this stage that are talking about women's financial inclusion and financial literacy, we also have our work to do to ensure that the effect is not too negative, right? It's a collaboration. The regulators are not the only one in the space. We are advocates, right? We are enablers, we are implementers. So we all have to sit down and start thinking of what is our one-year plan to make sure that, we can recover from the past 1 week.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I hope we've all enjoyed this session. Do you have any questions for our amazing panelists? Panelists, do you guys have one last word before we take the questions? Ife? Do you have a question?
First, I want to say thank you. That was such an amazing session. But my question is, now I don't want to ask, oh, how do you get mentors? Like that, I feel like that question is very, I don't know. But my question for you as women that are, doing well for yourself is, like, what would you look out for in a young person to say, oh, there's something worth, like, training in this person? Like, what is something that you look forward to, like, you personally look out for young people, or something that you believe young people, like young women, need to do better at in terms of, like, presenting themselves for, like, big opportunities? That's my question.
Okay, so accessing opportunities, right? As a young person, I think when you want to start looking out for opportunities, it's always good to present yourself in a way where your personal brand, when people see you, they can identify that, okay, this person is somebody that, has done something for herself. So, for example, when I started building, I didn't know what I was building for. When I was trying to build my personal brand, I didn't know that I was even building a personal brand. I was just trying to be relatable. I was trying to put myself out there. I was trying to showcase some of the skills that I had acquired, and I was just doing it consistently. And consistency is what builds your personal brand. So when people see me, for example, because the first thing you mentioned was mentorship, so I don't know if that's the angle you're looking at. For example, when I went for the Tonemelu Entrepreneurship Program, I was not necessarily thinking about the grants or the money that I was going to get out of it. I was thinking more about, okay, what's the network? Who are the people I can meet there, and who are the people that I can add value to? And in that process, I found a fantastic mentor. So I was selected to pitch. This is beyond, after being selected, I was selected to pitch, and When I got to the hall, I saw like over 1,000 people seated already waiting for me to come and pitch. And I now heard again that like over 150 people were watching online. 150,000 people were watching online. And I was like, nope, I'm not pitching here. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But somebody saw me and she saw how scared I was. And she was like, Ife, you're going to do this thing. Oh. I don't care by hook or by crook. I showed somebody beside me my pitch where I had written, and the guy was like, what was this? I beg. You're not ready for this picture. So, but this woman took interest in me because she also saw me practicing. She also saw that I was still thinking about doing it, but I was still having that doubt as well. But she saw that I was trying as well. So when people see that you are also putting in a certain level of effort, you're more likely to be helped. You're more likely to be remembered when an opportunity comes through. Right? And that's how some opportunities have come to me. So people mention my name in rooms where I'm not in, or rooms where I will never dream to be in. So I think one of the things that I would advise young people is to build a good personal brand and also be of value to people who are around them. Let people know what you're doing. A lot of people do things in silos. They don't even post about it. They don't leverage LinkedIn. They don't leverage Instagram. Nobody knows what you're doing. People come out and say, oh, I'm a business analyst. Who is a business analyst? What does a business analyst do? How can I tell somebody else that, oh, you're somebody that can solve the solution or solve the problem that they are facing, right? So you need to be able to break down your skills or what you understand or what you know into very, very little pieces that is easy for anybody to understand that this is what you're doing. And before you know it, your name starts going around, opportunities come to find you. Also apply for some of these opportunities. There are a lot of people who even break down some of the ways to apply for certain opportunities. For example, like Mandela Washington Fellowship. A lot of people are extremely smart, but they don't know how to apply for something like that. But if you join communities and if you speak to people who have also applied for that kind of opportunity, they will tell you how they did it. They'll tell you how they worded some of their sentences or the paragraphs and some of the things that they did. Some people will tell you, oh, I volunteered. And sometimes that volunteering experience is what makes the difference between two skilled people. I know somebody who got a job with a global organization because she could play piano. So that was the only thing the person people like, oh my gosh, you play piano? Oh, I play piano too. But they left all the interview wahala by the side, and they started talking about music and blah blah blah, and they bonded on that, right? So sometimes that extra thing that you do might just be the difference between you and another person, and that might be what will make the opportunity come to you. So just continue showcasing yourself. Don't be shy. Sing from the rooftop. I've been saying we're building the first bank for women in Africa. No, other people might have tried, right? Other people might have done it, but you will remember that economy was the one that said it, even though today we don't have the license, right? But that license is still going to come. Even CBN has already heard, and they've called us, right? So you have to continue calling things to existence. So before they think about, they want to give license to somebody that wants to do women back, they'll say, maybe economy said they wanted to do it. Where's economy? Let's give them two. Right? So yeah, continue louding your trumpets.
I'll add something. So you talked about mentorship, right? So let me speak a bit about that, right? When you as a young person, you identify a woman or a man that you want them to mentor you, right? Typically, you are identifying a superstar, someone that has a lot going for them, right? And automatically, people that are like that usually do not have a lot of time. Their time is precious, right? I have mentored a couple of people. The people that impress me most are the people that come prepared. They've done their research. Before they even come and approach me for mentorship, right? They know where my expertise lies. They know how I can help them. They're the ones giving me the assignment and saying, please, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. So they're coming prepared. They're not waiting for me to do the work because they know that I'm time poor, right? The 5 or 10 minutes I spend speaking with them is loaded. Because there's some people that I speak with, and by the time we're done with conversation, I'm like, it feels like you put a straw in my brain. But you know that those are people that they have things to do. They have things to achieve. They're intentional, right? Another thing is, even as you're coming with your checklist of this is how I want you to support me, or this is the advice I want you to give me, try and find a way you can be of value to your mentor. right? There's no one here that has everything 100% taken care of. There's always some little thing that they want. Perhaps it's an introduction. Perhaps it's a little bit of research, right? If you come to me as a youth and you want me to mentor you, I don't know the youth space as much as you would, right? My generation has grown past some things. So I might be the one to ask you that, man, my organization said I should do a TikTok. What is even TikTok? Do you understand? So where it's a symbiotic relationship, don't go out grabbing, and thinking that you have to mentor me and I have to get everything from you. Be of value. They will start to seek you as well, right? So for example, like what Ife said, volunteering. You'll be surprised at some of the volunteering opportunities that are out there that won't even take you an hour. And by the time you put it in your resume, I volunteered for this, it attracts other people to you, right? So ensure that, when you're approaching a mentor, you've done your homework, you're prepared, right? You're doing most of the work and they're only supporting you with their expertise and their experience. And ensure that you're also coming with value. It could be any kind of value. Do you understand? Try to understand what they need and see where you can support them as well.
I just want to say one thing, not really in line with everything, because Ife and Araf, they have done justice to that. I just think generally in life, there is no shortcut to lasting success. I'll say it again, there is no shortcut to lasting success. And I think most young people today feel like, okay, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, I will get 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Even if you get it, most times than not, it doesn't last. What am I trying to say? In everything that you do it well. If that's one thing that's helped with my career and how I've grown, is that in any job opportunity I get, I do it well. My work speaks for me. I don't speak for my work. Because today everybody can speak a good game. That's not a problem. Anybody can send you a fantastic CV. There are many CV writers out there today. But when I see your work and see what you have done, I'm more open to working with you and, seeing you be better, if that makes sense. So in everything that you do, you might not have the opportunity to meet the big people or, stand in front of a Ife or in front of an Ara. But in the thing that you're doing, do it well, because if Ara is talking to your boss tomorrow and says, oh, do you know Ola? Oh, really? What did Ola do? That girl is fantastic. Another thing, they might not like you, but they will recognize your work ethic. Don't look for people to like you. You're not at work to find friends. And most times, women as leaders, you always want people to like you. Sometimes you might not be liked. That's what we're about. We're about making an impact and doing the job well. Hard work. It's called hard work for a reason. Work is hard. And so being consistent and working hard, you will make success. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That was so powerful. And I know in this world of social media, a lot of people see the glitz. They see Tolu on Instagram, they see Ife, they see Ara. But I'm sure, combined, they're over, 50 years of experience, when we combine. So there's that place for consistency and excellent work. Very important. Thank you so much. She has a question.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a very impactful panel. So my question is, I am a digital marketer and I make money, I earn money, but I have a problem paying myself. I pay my staff and I pay them salaries, and then I begin to feel like there's no need to pay myself this month. The money will finish and I don't want the money to finish. So I postpone it to the next month. The next month comes and I don't want to pay myself. I'm just being I don't want the money in the company's account to finish. But at the end of the day, I don't have money in my personal account and the company has money. So how do I get past that fear of paying myself?
Girl, get HR. I've never done, before I wasn't paying myself, I was like that. But now, I just receive alerts. My HR person, she will just do it and I'll just see the alert. I'm just excited. So it doesn't really feel some type of way anymore. Sometimes just delegate, because if it's you will not want to do it. You'll be thinking, how can I just take this money from this account? Take it. You have to, but you have to. It's better if you just get somebody to do it. And the person, don't be scared that person will run away with your money. That's another thing. Sometimes people don't want to give people that access to their bank accounts and all of that, but you will never grow if you don't. So.
And I think if you're scared of paying yourself because you think the money is going to finish, or if there's a risk of that money finishing because you're paying yourself, then you need to look at your accounts. Maybe you're overpaying your staff, right? You need to be able to afford to pay for your expertise. Your expertise brings value to the organization. So separate personal from business. Your expertise brings value to the business. So value your expertise well and pay for it. If you're not paying for it, then there's something leaking somewhere.
It might
So
even
you
be a
need to be
money
able
block.
to pay.
It might not even be that she's paying so much. A lot of women have money blocks in terms of paying themselves.
Yes.
Tolu had mentioned it earlier now that she had to make a conscious effort to pay herself.
And sometimes I have a company that I run on the side, and there are times where we don't have enough money in the bank. What I do is I write a credit note to myself.
Exactly, yeah.
So by the time there's money,
Things normalize.
hello, my salary for 3 months is so and so with 00 at the back. Can you please pay? Because you are working, you are bringing expertise to the company, and you don't want your company to stay afloat, and everything that's been said is quite valid. But if you can't pay yourself that month because, write a credit note, and then you pay yourself.
I mean, if you have an investor, sorry, just one more. If you have an investor that comes in and you give them the value of your business and they say, okay, we're going to invest in your business. Of course, by the time you have an investor, you feel like, okay, there's more money in the business, I can now pay myself. They will ask you questions that, why is your payroll looking different from when we're looking at your business? Do you understand? So you need to get it right from the start, have that structure from the start, yes.
Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, these ladies are phenomenal packed. Now we know why they're captains of industries and thought leaders in the leading change for women, driving financial inclusion and deepening financial services. I hope we've been able to educate you on the importance of wealth building for women and by women. And with that, we come to the end of this session. Thank you so much, everyone, that made out time to come to this session. Please do not forget to download the Economy app. Connect with our speakers via the social platforms, Ifedru Simieti, Tolu Ijogun, Ara Sadiq. The Economy app is available on your Play Store and iOS. Please give our speakers a round of applause, and please clap for yourselves too for braving it through interesting times to come true. Thank you so much.